Alright, in this video we will add CSS, or style in other words, to our HTML structure that we created in the previous video. Alright, so first thing first, in order for us to view our page consistent on all the browsers, we need to add the normalized.css file. Alright, so we have previously discussed about it, okay, and I already have it in my directory. I hope you do too. Alright, so I'm just gonna add or link my normalized.css file. Alright, and I'm just gonna comment first that this is the normalized CSS file. There we go. And now I'm just gonna link it up. Okay. Alright, so what it will do is that no matter what browser you're using, it's going to display consistent and default layout on all the browsers. Alright, so in order to confirm that, it's better that we run the page on Safari as well. There we go. So this is Chrome, all right, and this is Safari, and you can see that everything is consistent now, all right, in terms of the buttons and everything, okay? So let me just show you here. There we go. All right, so that means my browser is going to display the web page in one consistent style. All right, so now it's time to apply CSS, and we're going to start with the very basic, that is going to our CSS file. And of course, since elements are all about boxes, so we want the boxes, all right, universal boxes, to have a box sizing of border box. Okay, so all the boxes, whatever I'm going to use, all right, all the elements, they're going to have the box sizing of a border box. All right, if you're not sure about border box or box sizing, you can go back and recap about the box model fix. Okay, now the next thing is to add Google font. Okay, now because it's a very convenient option to utilize Google font directly from the Google font website, we're going to use that for our project. Okay, now I have already opened fonts.google.com. You can go to this website, and for this project I have chosen Railway font. All right, and there we go. I'm going to click on customize as well. All right, regular one is selected, but I want the bold one as well, so I'm going to select this as well. All right, go back to embed. Okay, copy this link and go to my code editor. And after the normalized file, I'm going to create a comment and say Google font Railway. All right, there we go. And then underneath, paste the link. Okay, so far so good. Perfect. Now if you go back to your structure, all right, oops, I think I haven't declared it in my CSS, so I'm just gonna do that right now. My body is going to have the font family. All right, I'm just gonna copy this specification from the Google font website and paste it in my CSS. There we go. All right, now I'm gonna check. There we go. So now my railway has been applied. All right, so moving on, we want to create icons as well. All right, and in order to add icons like these, all right, we need to get some link, just like the Google Fonts link. Now there is more than one way to do that. All right, there's fontawesome.com, which recently updated itself. All right, and then there is Ionic Cons, okay, which pretty much is a similar thing like Font Awesome, but since Font Awesome has recently updated itself, it's kind of a tough thing for you to use it, all right, in terms of adding the code and stuff. But if you click on ionicons.com, if you go to ionicon.com, you can simply click on CDN. All right, no need to download it, just copy this code. Okay, it's a CSS code. Go to your code editor, and in your HTML sheet, copy this font. There we go, and link it. There we go. So done. Okay, so now I can add fonts like these, all right, to my project. Okay, so going back to the code editor, now I know I can easily add it. I just need to know how to add it inside HTML just to make sure. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to Ionicon's website, and over here you can see that I have almost all kinds of icon. All right, so what I need to do is I'm just going to search for Facebook. There we go. So I have Facebook. I'll just select Facebook and see. All right, this is a class that I can utilize for Facebook. So I'm just going to select this class and paste it right here. All right, but with an I tag. There we go. All right, that. So I just need to copy this code and paste it in between the anchor tag. Paste it. All right, and paste it. All right, now I just need to change the name of the icon from Facebook to Twitter, and then dribble with a triple B, dribble, and then finally LinkedIn. All right, save this and run it to see what happens. Okay, so far so good. I have the icons. All right, all my icons are listed. All right, there we go. So you can see the icons. Well, they're not styled yet like this, like these. All right, but we will reach there step by step. Okay, but finally our icons are there. Okay, so now let's just start by styling our header. Okay, now let's just give a class of name to our header. All right, since we want the font to be a little bit bigger than H1 heading. So I'm just going to copy this. All right, go to my code editor. Oh, CSS, sorry. All right, and simply add name. Okay, should have a font size of 5 EM. All right, there we go. And the color, all right, the color should be the exact color as this one. All right, so let's just inspect this color. It's green color. There we go. So that's the color. All right, I'm just going to copy the code and paste it right here. All right, the hexacode. And of course, the font weight should be 900. Let's see what happens. All right, let me just zoom out. There we go. Okay, so far so good. I'm actually getting there. And one more thing I wanted to do is I wanted the body to have the text alignment to be in center, all right? So that everything comes in center. All right, there we go. So everything is in center. I'm reaching to my desired final product, all right, step by step. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that, all right? So next thing, I'm going to select the nav, all right? But before that, I want to give it a class of navigation since we have another nav tag as well. So I just don't want to confuse it. So I'm just going to select this navigation, all right? And this navigation will now be added here, all right? And I want the navigation unordered list to have a list type, list style, sorry, to be none. All right, so that the bullet points get removed. Oh, did I just use different brackets? There we go. That's why it wasn't reading. All right, fine. Okay, list style should be none, and I want the nav bar to be to be in the center. So I'm just going to apply 0 and auto. There we go. All right, so let's just see what happens. All right, so far so good. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select my class, but this time I'm going to select the list along with it. And I'm going to say, well, you know what, display them, but display them as inline block. All right. And after that, I want a margin among them to be 1 EM. Okay, so notice I'm using EM instead of pixels. Okay, so make sure that you're also doing that. All right, so far so good. Now I want them to have a real link look, all right? I don't want this underlying thing to happen to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to my code editor, and this time from my navigation, I'm going to select, all right, this is the class, and underneath I'm going to target the child element, which is A, the anchor tag. All right, so I'm going to target the anchor tag now, and I'm going to say, all right, I want the font weight to be bold, or I don't know, 900 is fine. Okay, bold. Text transform, since I want everything in capital, so text transform should be uppercase. Okay, and text decoration should be, let's say, none. All right, so that the underlying thing gets removed. All right, padding. Let's apply a little bit padding. 0.5 em. Save it, and of course, color should be white. There we go. All right. So if I go, there we go. You can't see the links right now because we haven't added the background, but don't worry. We'll add the background very soon. Now let's go to our code editor and see header is done. All right, we're done with header. Now it's time to give a background to the intro section. But first we need to give it a class. All right. Now the class name should be intro, since we're talking about intro, so the class name should be intro. All right, and now I'm just going to select the intro part, and over here I'm just going to paste intro and give it a background of URL. I hope that works. Main BG. All right, there we go. And I want the background repeat to say no repeat. Okay, and of course the background size should be cover, and then background position should be center and center. All right, there we go. So let's see and check what happens now. Okay, so far so good. We have the picture, but unfortunately, because the padding is not applied, so that's why you can't see it. All right, let's apply a padding of let's say 10 em top bottom and 0 left right. All right, so, and also the font color should be white. There we go. Save it and then run it. There we go. All right, so now we have a pretty much decent view of what was previously there. All right, like I said, we are reaching to our final product. Okay, but what I really wanted to understand is that well, it's a fantastic picture, but again, the text is not visible. All right, because of the picture, because there's too much light in the background, so I really can't make any head or tail for my text. Okay, so it's difficult to read. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a linear gradient, okay, to my background. So I'm just going to go here, all right, just in front of the URL. I'm just going to type linear gradient. Okay, and inside that I'm going to say RGBA first value, and then RGBA second value. There we go. Okay, so now I just need to put some really interesting dark values, 0.5 to, let's say, 0.000. Remember, RGB stands for red, green, blue. So if the value is set to 0, that means it's automatically black. But transparency, alpha transparency, A stands for the opacity. So I'm just going to decide what the opacity is going to look like. So you can see here, this is how the opacity looks like. Here and over here, the opacity looks like this somehow. All right, so far so good. There we go, much better. But again, it's not what I actually want, so in fact, I want the gradient to go from left to right rather than top to bottom. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm just going to increase, let's say 0.8 to 1. All right, so that I can, get proper opaqueness. And then I'm just going to say 90 degrees. There we go. All right, now let's just see what happens. Okay, I think it's pretty dark right now. Well, let's just do one thing. Let's just put the value back to 0.5 and 0.8. There we go. Okay, much better, much better. Okay. Now, before we style the other parts of this section, what we have done in this web page is that we have added the header inside the section background, all right, the intro background. So how we do that is we have studied about the positions, all right, positioning in CSS. So it's very simple how we're going to do that this time as well. So we are going to put our header, all right, which is this part, all right, to a position of absolute, all right? So it's time to apply some CSS to our header, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put the position to be on absolute, all right? And if you see now, what's happening here is that my header is now on top left corner, all right? So in order for me to bring it in the center, what I need to do is I need to put the positions left and right to be on 0, all right? And of course, I just want to clear both so that if there's any interruption, it can be cleared. Okay, and also overflow, whatever overflow is happening, it should be auto or hidden. Now let's just check and see what happens. Now you can see that my information is overriding the header, all right? And I really don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to my code editor, and over here, you can see that I have already created one div, all right? And that div was there for a purpose, but now it's time to add a class and say Content Intro, all right? Give it a name of Content Intro, all right? And apply some extra margin top to that Content Intro. So I'm just going to do that by adding Content Intro margin top to be 5 EM, okay? And after that, the overflow, if there is any, should be auto, all right? It's always a safe option to use the overflow, okay? So if I see it now, there we go. So now you can see that it's much, much better. All right, so I don't know why the margin is not getting applied. Maybe it's getting applied, but we need to make sure that we fix this, all right? There's too much space between Alex Smith and the list, all right? So we need to go back to the code and see where we are wrong. Okay, so over here you can see that we haven't applied any margin to the name class. All right, let's just check now. There we go. Perfect. So now it's okay. But I'm noticing something right here. You can see that the font size is a bit bigger. So I just want to make it, let's say 4 EM. Also, you can see that the list is going a little bit on the left side. So I need to know if there is some extra padding applied. So there we go. All right, so there we go. We see an extra padding right here of 40 pixels. All right, so I just want to eliminate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply a padding of 0, okay, to my unordered list navigation. All right, so far so good. Perfect, but I just want to apply some margin top to this so that I can get the space, equivalent space of my final product. So I'm just going to go back to my code editor. The header to have a margin top of 1.5 EM. All right. So if I just run it now, you can see that there is a margin top applied. Okay. So far, so good. Now it's time to style this bunch of text. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the content intro. All right. And then inside the content intro, I'm going to select the H1 of the content intro. So there we go. H1. And I want the font size to be 3.5, 3.8 EM. All right. And then font weight to be 900. Okay. And then text transform should be uppercase. There we go. All right. And see what happens. Oops. Text a little bit bigger. Anyway. All right. I need to put a space as well. So I'm just going to do that. There we go. Okay. Also, just decrease the font size. Make it 3 EM and see what happens. Still bigger. Let's make it 2.5 EM. All right, perfect. All right, so I need to get this span tag, all right, whatever text is there in the span tag, okay, this span tag to be smaller, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy this class, all right, paste it and target the child element inside it, which is whatever span tag is there. It's gonna get this property, okay? Font size, let's say what the font size should be. Well, let's say I want a font size to be 12 pixels, all right, or 1 EM, okay? And I want the font weight to be 400, there we go. And I want the span to be displayed as block, so that it will automatically come on the new line. Let's just see what happens now. I didn't get what I wanted. So let's just change it to 0.5 EM. All right. Also, let's just apply margin top to be about 10 pixels. All right. Let's just see what happens now. Perfect. So far, so good. Let's just check. Okay. So it's not that near. All right. So instead of EM, it's going to choose pixels and see the result now. All right. That's better. So far, so good. Also, I need to apply some extra margin to this heading. All right, so I'm going to do that by saying margin top to be 1.5 EM. All right, let's see what happens now. There we go. So I'm just a little bit more down than the usual. Okay, so far so good. Now it's time to style this button right here, okay? So I'm just gonna inspect this button. All right, so far I don't have any class, so let's just add a class here. Let's say that this is button intro. Add a class, button intro. There we go. All right, and copy this, paste it over here, and then let's just apply a padding of 0.5 EM and 2 EM. Let's see what happens. And first of all, let's just eradicate all the borders. First, let's just see the result. There we go. So now the button looks fine. All right, but it's time to eliminate the borders. All right, and also apply some margin as well. Margin top, 1 EM. And then I want the background to be of the color that I'm using in my color theme, which is, oh, there we go. A shade of green. There we go. And I want the text color inside to be white. Okay. And after that, I want the font weight to be about 400. Okay. And of course, the border should be 2 pixels solid. And the color should be same, the green one. All right. Now, I think that's more than enough. All right. Also, I want the letters to be uppercase. So there we go. If we just see it now, there we go. Perfect. So far so good. I have a nice looking button here. All right. And it looks great. Now let's add a transition to our button as well. All right, in case we hover, so there should be some animation effect that we have learned. All right, so transition should be, let's say that I want the color to change and the border to change. So let's say all, and then the duration of the transition and how it should be. Okay, the transition timing function, all right, which is linear. You can select fade in as well. Oh, sorry, ease in as well, but it's totally up to you. All right. So let's say that, upon hover, all right, copy this, paste it. Upon hover, let's say I want the background to be white. Okay. And I want the color of the text to be black. All right. And I want the border to be the same. There we go. Copy this and paste it there. So upon hover, all these properties will transition, all right, in 0.2 seconds. There we go. If I save it, there we go. So far, so good. Perfect. So I'm going to be seeing you in the next video, all right? Till then, I really want you to practice very hard, all right, and understand what has happened, all right? So if I check the responsiveness of this website, it looks absolutely fine, okay? So I'm going to see you in the next video. Till then, keep learning and, of course, keep practicing.